So how do we deal with this? Like intellectually, the collision between the fundamentals of free speech and the necessity of the nation state to keep citizens safe. Bishop Emmanuel today reported in court as saying he wants the footage of his stabbing to stay up online. Now, if we draw a link between radical hate preachers and online networks and events like a terror attack on a bishop, why is the things that might have preceded the stabbing, the hate speech in mosques, why is that allowed to stay online, but the effect of terrorism, the priest stabbed or the bishop stabbed at the altar, why does that come down but the other stuff stay?
Yeah, look, good question or a good issue to raise, Peter. But nonetheless, I think it's not up to the bishop. It's up to the Australian legal framework. And there is a reason for taking pornographic violence down, because this pornographic violence begets imitation. But the real problem is this. We have a right as a democratic polity to set limits on free speech. There are always some limits on free speech. You can't shout fire in a crowded cinema. You can't defame someone. You can't pose, sexual pictures of people online. And so there are limits on free speech.
That's right.
We can decide that through our political process. However, we can't enforce this for the whole world. The social media companies, they already enforce a whole lot of normative values, and they are immensely powerful in, their marketing and so forth. I think it's a very good thing that we try to disassociate TikTok from the Chinese government, because it's not only bad actors, terrorists and so on, it's also malign foreign governments who use social media to influence us. But there are some things that we can enforce on stuff that happens within Australia. We need to be open and clear about that. On the other hand, I'm extremely cautious about giving a government agency the ability to declare something as anti-social, because they might declare that your view or my view on The Voice is hate speech. And I think that there'd be every chance that they'd censor that and leave on quite a lot of Islamist propaganda about, Israeli genocide or something like that.
And just quickly, we're about out of time, but should we follow the United States and force TikTok away from its Chinese parent company or shut it down?
Yeah, I think we should. So we don't need to shut it down straight away, but it should. The Chinese government has a law which says every Chinese company has to cooperate on intelligence matters. We know that TikTok and Chinese-owned agencies slant the news in a pro-China way and in a very anti-Western way and in a difficult way for Western societies. So TikTok can remain as profitable as like, but it can't be owned by the Chinese government anymore. Or alternatively, if it doesn't want to do that, it can leave Australia and make its fortune somewhere else. I think the American law is a very good law, and we should pass complementary imitative legislation.
Greg Sheridan, thank you as always.